Welcome to At the Disney Movies with the Hearts.
I'm Kelly.
I'm David.
And this week, it's a road trip. Hyuck.
Hyuck, a Goofy movie.
From 1995.
Yep.
It's Goofy.
Stop goofing around.
In an outrageous full-length animated feature, Walt Disney Pictures presents...
Come on, this is gonna be fun.
The story of a father who couldn't be closer to driving his son crazy. Now, they're getting a crash course in becoming best friends.
It's Bigfoot! Could you back up a bit, Mr. Foot? You're out of focus.
You've definitely never seen this, right?
Oh, definitely not. No, not at all.
I've definitely seen this a lot.
A lot of times. Kelly's on the many times
We
train.
had the VHS. What do you want me to say?
Hyuck.
So I really have no idea what you thought about this movie. I mean, I know what I thought about this movie, but...
It was very goofy.
Yeah, but did you like it?
Yeah, of course. It was funny.
Yeah, I actually really like this movie, and I still really like it. I think it's actually a pretty good movie.
Yeah, it's good. I enjoy it. I enjoyed this film.
You enjoyed this film.
Yeah.
But was it what you expected? Or...
I didn't know what to expect. I mean, I would have never thought it was going to be a road trip movie.
Wait, you were like, oh, it's like Goof Trip. Well, kind of, except for Max is older, and it's...
I got from the beginning, a real recess schools out vibe, but it just went in a different direction.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, but no, because in the Goof Troop show, he's maybe 10, 12, like that's kind of the age range. In this, he's clearly like 16, a little older.
I was thinking like 14.
No, I think he's a little older.
I don't think so.
He's in high school.
Are they? I thought that was the last day of middle school.
No, I think it's high school.
Maybe he's a freshman in high school. Maybe. Fresh, bro.
Yeah, he's like 15 then.
Because he wasn't driving, so he couldn't have been...
Well, but I don't think that he would have let him drive.
No, I mean, none of them were driving, so... I don't know, I got the impression it was middle school still.
I thought high school, but maybe. I digress. Let me read the synopsis really quick. I'm really glad that you liked it. Because it's such a silly movie.
Well, yeah, what are you going to hate about it? Be like,
I don't know. It's just
it's so boring.
No, it's not that. It's just as an actual movie, I think it's actually like a good movie. But...
Well, I mean, it has its flaws, but it's a good movie.
I need to hear about these flaws. I don't know anything about that. A Goofy movie. Family, comedy, animation, action, adventure. The lovable Goof bonds with his teenage son Max on a hilarious cross-country road trip en route to the old fishing hole. They find themselves up to their floppy ears in misadventure, action-packed situations, narrow escapes, and even a comic close encounter with Bigfoot. Will Max learn there's nothing wrong with taking after dear old dad, even if he is a little goofy? The question is answered in the show-stopping finale when Max and Goofy crash the stage at the most spectacular rock concert ever performed. Great. Spoiler alert. Thanks a lot, Disney. God, if I had read that, I'd be like, oh, great. They go to the concert. I don't need to watch them.
Yeah. Man, I'm going home. I'm an angsty teen.
I'm Max.
Dad!
Max to the max, bro. Oh, my God.
So, our director, Kevin Lima, we'll see him again. He directed Tarzan.
102 Dalmatians.
Which actually, I don't know if I think 102 Dalmatians was straight to video, but I don't know.
I feel like that might have come out, but we'll see later on.
But I gotta know now, David.
Kelly has to know.
I do, actually. So hold on. Let me boop, 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 boop. Dun, 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 dun.
While Kelly's looking that up, I'll also mention that he was a writer on Aladdin and Oliver and Company.
Really?
Which really made me laugh that he was a writer on Oliver and Company.
I can see that.
I laughed out loud, and Kelly wondered why.
Is that why you were laughing?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? 102 Dalmatians is on our list. So I guess maybe it did come out in theaters. Just kidding.
I think it did, because I think I remember seeing commercials and being, like, confused.
So I haven't seen that. But I've definitely seen Tarzan. And he also directed Enchanted, which is an amazing movie that's also on our list. David knows nothing about that. That's fine.
Nope, not at all.
So good.
So yeah, we'll be seeing Kevin Lima again. And then our actors, Bill Farmer is Goofy.
You look just like I did at your age.
And he's been in a million cartoons, but he's also the new Sylvester the Cat for Warner Brothers.
Really? So I saw that and I was thinking, was it like the old Sylvester?
No, new.
That's interesting.
So Goofy and Sylvester are the same person. I don't know how I feel about that.
But yeah, so he's just done Goofy for like ever.
Yeah.
That's all he's pretty much done.
Yeah, he's just Goofy. And then this Jason Marsden fella.
Oh my god. Okay. So the reason I was like, shut up, was because he's freaking Thackeray Binks from Hocus Pocus, which everybody who's listening should know what Hocus Pocus is.
Thackeray Binks? What took thee so sorry, Emily. I had to wait 300 years for a virgin to light a candle.
And sorry, it's very exciting.
And he was also in the English version of Spirited Away as Haku.
Yeah, which is also another amazing movie. But...
And just a million other cartoons. And no, not him. My lines got crossed there. Jim Cummings, who is Pete, is the new Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, which was just...
Weird, right?
Yeah, but hasn't he always been Pete? In Goof Troop and everything?
Yeah, he was Pete in Goof Troop. And the new Disney cartoons and stuff. And then he's something in Princess and the Frog and a million other cartoons. Mm-hmm. This guy's just a voiceover dude. And
special cameo by Wallace Shawn as the principal.
Well, yeah, sure.
Did you recognize that immediately?
Of course.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't?
I don't know. I kind of forgot. And then I was watching and I was like, oh my God, that's right. I forgot.
And Robert Paulson, who is PJ, his name is Robert Paulson.
His name is Robert Paulson.
He's also Pinky, Yakko, and Donatella.
So he just does all the animation voiceovers.
Yeah, he's big into it. Pauly Shore plays the wacky character.
What do you mean the wacky? Bobby?
Yeah.
Oh, Leaning Tower of Cheesa, which is one of my favorite parts.
Yeah. And then Jenna Von Oy plays Stacy. She was 6 from Blossom.
Oh, I see. I didn't write that down because I read it and I was like, oh, David's got this. He's got this covered.
Along with Joey Lawrence apparently played somebody named Chad. Whoa.
Oh, so was that the guy who was like, hey, Roxanne.
I guess. Which is even weird.
Yeah, what?
Okay. The way to use Joey Lawrence.
Yeah, and speaking of Roxanne, her name is Kelly Martin, and she was on ER, or somebody's named Lucy. I don't know.
Oh, well, no, and she was the main character in Life Goes On.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, it was a show on ABC in the late 80s, early 90s with Kid Corky.
I don't know anything about that show.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
Was it? Kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
So, do you have any fun facts, David?
A couple. It wasn't a fun fact-filled thing.
I had a few. What you got?
Go ahead.
So, fun fact, the director, Kevin Lima, his original goal was to make a John Hughes-esque movie, but animated.
He failed.
Yeah, but, I don't know.
So, got a lot of Uncle Buck in it.
Yeah. It's great.
A little Uncle Buck Home Alone.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So, the Powerline guy was supposed to be a mix of Bobby Brown, Prince, and Michael Jackson, and Bobby Brown was actually supposed to do it, but he had a crack problem and could not continue.
Roxanne's original name was supposed to be Dolores.
Okay, that's
they changed it.
Really fun.
I think it's fun.
Was she in Goof Troop?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, weird. That's
I don't know
weirder.
though. I don't know though. Maybe she was in some of the later seasons. I don't know.
And then Pauly Shore improvised all of his dialogue. They didn't write Pauly Shore because that's really just all Pauly Shore does is make those sounds and
oh my God,
act like that.
So he invented Leaning Tower of Cheesa.
Yeah, of course.
That's incredible. I love that so much. I wonder if he saw the animation and then he did, or they animated that because he said that. That's incredible if they animated it after he said that. That's great because that's one of my favorite parts of the movie. That stupid little line.
The Leaning Tower of
Cheesa.
It's
funny. It's hilarious.
Oh my God.
And we all know a dude like that in high school or middle school or whatever.
Kelly's gonna have to watch a Pauly Shore movie at some point.
Probably. So the inspiration for the script came from Jeffrey Katzenberger, who was chairman of Disney, because he took a road trip with his daughter to become closer to her, and that was the inspiration for this movie.
Wow. That's terrible. The boss man, huh?
David's not into family road trips.
No, I am. But not making a movie off of your boss's family road trip. That's weird.
Do you have any other fun facts?
No.
Should we dive in?
Let's dive in, Kelly.
Let's drive in.
Drive in, drive on.
Drive off the cliff.
Fall off the cliff.
So we open the movie with Max having like a weird dream where
Nightmare.
Yeah, like she's out in a field and she's like, "Oh, Max, oh my God." Blah, blah. And then he like transforms into his dad. Because that's like his worst nightmare. It's just kind of a weird opening scene.
Yeah, it is. And he wakes up, he's late, his dad is embarrassing and ruins his power line cutout.
Yeah, it's like a life-size cutout thing, which I don't know who actually has those in their room. But
yeah, that's very bizarre.
And yeah, his dad's embarrassing. He's like vacuuming up his clothes.
That to me just made sense as a cartoon.
Yeah, and you know, chasing him outside. Oh, you forgot your lunch. Have a good day.
Yuck.
Oh, his dad's just trying to be a good dad.
Yeah, he is a good dad. He's goofy.
And, you know, then we get the first song.
A really weird song. After today.
Roxanne, and I feel like a fool. 'Cause after today, I'm going crazy. After today, she'll be mine. After today, my brains will be snoozing. If I don't...
Sort of. Yeah, just like that.
And this is where I got the recess schools out vibes, was this part.
You know, that is a very good...
They basically stole this scene from this movie.
It is a little bit like that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're going around, everyone's singing about what they're going to do after today, after the school's out, and
you're pretty much seeing every Goof Troop character.
Yeah, and, you know, and I don't know if the bus driver was on there, but that's my favorite part, where he's like, I'm gonna sit on my butt. I still remember that from seeing this movie. He's, like, gonna do something, but you don't know what it is, because he's like, oh, I wish after today she's gonna be mine, blah, 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 blah. And he falls off the bleachers, and she's there.
And helps him up, and then he spazzes out and turns into his dad.
Yeah, he's like,
Yuck.
Okay, she doesn't even care, but he gets embarrassed and runs away. Clearly she likes him, because she's, okay, bye.
Yeah, bye. And then we meet Pauly Shore, the AV guy, with his spray cheese.
Oh my god, it's so amazing.
Telly's Leaning Tower of Cheese.
Well, that's not yet.
I know, but still.
But he's like, cheddar! Oh, cheddar! Yeah, yeah! Yeah, see? And they're gonna do something crazy. We go to the assembly.
With Principal Mazur, who is Fezzik, Sean Wallace, whatever you want to call him.
Everybody hates him. And then they do the whole thing where they're taking over the assembly, and we get another song, and it's Power Line. Oh my god, he's so cool. And he's gotta stand out above the crowd. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. David doesn't even know about that.
Stand out above the crowd.
All I need is half a chance on second thought, a second glance will prove I got whatever it takes. It's a piece of cake. To stand out.
Wow, who's that guy?
Tomorrow's the only face you'll see. Gonna stand out.
Yeah, it's catchy.
Yeah, there's a lot of this song in this movie.
Yeah, because it's great, but whatever.
Multiple times.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, go ahead and repeat yourself.
So he puts on the show, he gets caught by the principal, and everyone's like, oh my god, it's Max Goofy, what?
What? Oh my god, now he's so cool.
Oh my god, he's so cool. Hey Max, wicked dance. Suck your dick now.
The one with the big tits is all over him and stuff. It's like, oh, hey, come on, big boy.
Yeah, she's all about it. But we cut to Goofy. He's like a photographer in like a Walmart. Like that's his job apparently. But Pete also has the same job. Like I don't really get this.
Yeah, it doesn't make it. Well, it kind of makes old schooler sense where you actually staffed a store to be successful. Instead of now, where you just leave it barren and unstaffed.
No, but I mean, it's weird that they both work there, but they're neighbors. Like, that's weird. I thought Pete had some fancy job, and that's why he had so much money.
I thought he was just ahead of Goofy in the ranks.
I don't know. And I actually think this scene is funny, but they're doing their whole photography thing, and, Pete's, like, slapping this little girl's butt with, like, a Velcro thing to, like, make her sit down, which I think is the funniest thing. In the scene, he's like, "Oh, you gotta keep your kid under your thumb. Like he can't be like he's gonna turn into a menace." And oh no, my kid's good, but
then he gets a phone call from the principal. He's in trouble.
Yeah, and his principal is like, he's gonna end up in the electric chair, which is so dramatic. That's not a thing.
If the principal called you up about your kid and said that, you'd tell him to f*** off.
That's dramatic. What are you doing?
That's what I mean. Well, no, I think you'd really just tell him to f*** off. That would be very over the line.
Correct, sir.
This is also in the midst of, they're sitting in the principal's office. This is where we get Leaning Tower of Cheese, but whatever. And
Roxanne comes up to him.
Yeah, because the Stacy chick is like, go talk to him.
And like pushes her into him.
Yeah, so she talks to him and she's like, I liked your dance. And he's like, oh,
yuck.
I got a goofy boner.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, the party. He's like, oh, we should go together. And, typical, like, blah, blah, blah. They both clearly like each other, whatever.
They obviously need to be together.
They don't need to be embarrassed. So they're going to go together. Everything's happy.
Goopy goes home.
Well, before that, though, Matt, one of the scenes that I think is really funny in this movie, Max is super happy and he's like dancing around the freaking office and he takes that lady.
The receptionist.
Yeah, and he's like swinging her around. She's like, oh, it's not my break yet. And like, I think this scene is very funny.
Yeah, it is pretty funny.
But yeah, he goes home and when he leaves that, everyone's like, Max,
which is just ridiculous.
And he does like a Ferris Bueller style go through the backyards of everybody's house, like jumping off of things, stealing forks from babies, doing all sorts of crazy shenanigans. And yeah, then he goes home and his dad's like packing up with his stuff. Oh, Dad, like, if you're going to be gone more than a month, drop me a line. Like, does your dad frequently leave more than a month? Like, what is this?
Probably it's goofy.
I guess. I don't know. And he's like, no, you're going to go with me. We're going fishing. Just like...
He's like, no, I don't want to go.
But I mean, if you were that age and your dad's all of a sudden like, yeah, we're going to be gone on this weeks-long trip, you'd be like, what?
Yeah, but you got to go. I mean, you're going.
He's going. And gets him in the car eventually, and then he's like, oh, God, I got to go talk to Roxanne. Dad, you got to pull over. Because he realizes, oh, I have that date, and it's not going to work out. So we go to Roxanne's house. Her dad answers the door, which is also hilarious.
Yeah, very stereotypical.
And then Max decides he's going to tell her this huge lie, which I don't understand. Like, why would you do this?
Because you're a teenage boy and you don't know any better than to just tell the truth. Well, actually, this is why he did it. Because she was like, oh, well, I'm just going to go with somebody else. If your dad is forcing you to go away, I'm just going to be with somebody else. And that, like, raises jealousy within him. So he tells a big lie.
I don't get it.
Well, he's protecting his territory.
Is it his territory? They're not together.
Well, he's trying to make it his territory.
I know, but yeah, he's like, yeah,
trying to plant that flag.
What?
He's trying to plant that flag.
It's like, yeah, my dad was friends with Powerline, and we're gonna be on stage with him, and I'm just like, wow, this is so uncomfortable.
Yeah,
so uncomfortable. And so she's like, great, blah, blah. And he's like, oh,
yeah, but he at least smooths her over. I mean, he knows how to talk to the... He's like, oh, come on, I can lie to you, no problem. Come on, girl.
They're on the road, they're driving, and they have the typical back and forth radio fight, and they break the... Radio.
And then we get this weird duo song of angst versus middle age on the open road.
Because we get all these other people driving by singing about the open road, and you get like...
Kelly loved the grandma eating the dust.
Oh my god, with all the cats in the car? Yeah. It was great.
Yeah.
I forgot about that completely. It was funny.
Well, you busted up laughing when it happened.
Because it's hilarious. She's driving like this sports car, and she's got like 10 cats in her car. It's amazing. And you got like the little dude with the big fat lady, and there's things I noticed that I didn't notice the first time I watched, like when I was a kid, where he's like the odd romantic encounter. I'm like, Max is like, very odd. Like, yeah, that's very odd. Yeah, and I enjoy this song quite a bit, actually. A lot. Did you like this part?
I didn't like it at first, but as it gathered steam, I started to like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It took everybody joining in for me to start liking it. When it was just the two of them, it was kind of like, this is not good.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing, is then you get all the other people joining in.
And then it got better.
Yeah.
So then it goes to the don't spoil the big surprise. We're going to the Possum Posse Jamboree, which I love this part.
Oh my god, it's so uncomfortable.
It's so funny.
This part is so is so uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable as a kid watching this, and I'm uncomfortable now. Like
I love it. I
know.
Love it.
I know you did.
Because it's super uncomfortable and super terrible. And it's the most real scene of the movie.
Yeah, because they go to this weird, like, side...
Backwoods, redneck...
So, okay, your favorite part of this, I guarantee, is that the little girl...
With the missing teeth? Yeah.
She's sitting there, she's like, yeah.
Well, and she's clearly, like, kind of in love with him. Because she can't take her eyes off of him doing the yeah thing.
But basically, it's like an animatronic, like, show of possums...
Of like hillbilly possums playing music,
and it's a weird sideshow. And they go out of the show, and then he's like, "Oh, let's go take our picture with these weird possum hats." And he's like, "Oh my god, Dad, you're so embarrassing."
Yeah, and he gets assaulted by the costume possum with a hug. His dad gets him the hat, and then he gets actually assaulted by a real possum. And Max is just irate and embarrassed. And his dad does another dance with him, and he hears people in the crowd calling him Dork and Dork Jr.
Which is coming.
He just loses his. Who cares if a hillbilly calls you Dork and Dork Jr.?
And especially after it's kind of like this movie has really serious parts to it that are kind of, oh, that's really sad, because his dad's all super bummed because he's literally just trying to have fun with him, and he's like, "F you, Dad."
Yeah.
Oh, you dropped your hat.
This is the stupidest vacation! You drive me from home, you give me this dumb car, then drive 1,000,000 miles away to see some stupid rat show!
But that's the thing, is that this movie feels like a real teenage relationship story.
Yeah, it's actually like really good.
Yeah.
And so they go, and his dad's all sad, and they drive away.
And he's throwing a fit, so they go to the campsite.
Oh, yeah, and then Pete and his giant, super high-tech RV
which is
show
great.
up.
This is such a great trope.
What, with the RV popping
with the
all the
super
stuff
high
out?
tech RV. The one of the Mickey Mouse shorts has the same thing where Donald Duck shows up with the same thing. Remember, Mickey and Goofy are camping, and then Donald shows up with the and it's literally the same thing.
And there were a lot of references in this movie to, like, when they're leaving for the trip, and I'm going on a trip with my best friend, and he's like, "Oh, Donald Duck."
Donald Duck, and you see Mickey and Donald hitchhiking.
Yeah, there's a
to
lot
California.
of that. Or when they're playing the game, and he's, "Oh, you're thinking of a man? Oh, Walt Disney." And he's like, "Yeah, sure."
And
like,
his keychain has the Disney logo on it. Yeah.
There's a lot of that in this movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of I would call it promotion most of the time, but it's basically just acknowledging that Goofy's a company man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so Pete comes out, and then so Max goes inside, talks to PJ, who's like jamming out to more Powerline music.
And PJ lets him know that everybody knows about his lie, that he's going to go meet up with Powerline. Even PJ doesn't know it's a lie.
Yeah, until he's like, my dad doesn't know.
And so Goofy and Pete are up bowling on top of the RV.
I can't even. Yeah, and Pete's giving him the whole lecture about you gotta keep him under your thumb, and he does this whole thing where he calls PJ up there and knocks the bowling pin down. He's like, "See, he does whatever I want."
Well,
blah, blah, blah,
and
blah.
PJ is like a scared dog.
Yeah, it's
terrible.
Yeah, and so he's like, "Oh, stay for dinner," and Mac's like, "Oh, that sounds great," and then Goofy's like, "No. We're gonna go fishing. I'm gonna get serious now."
And so he does, and he teaches him the perfect cast that he casts right into Bigfoot. So then we get this great Bigfoot scene that lasts a long time.
It's incredible, though. It's
where Bigfoot runs through everybody's camp, and then Goofy and Max get stuck in the car while Bigfoot trashes all their and uses all their stuff and just makes a scene, and then eventually sleeps on top of their car so they can't go anywhere. Yeah.
Well, especially they're sitting there and he's like, "Is he gone yet?" And then he holds like the socks up outside the car, and he's doing like a
sock puppets. Yeah,
and he's like, Goofy's like, "Nope, he's still there." It's one of my favorite parts.
But they finally get rid of him because he puts on headphones that are playing the Bee Gees.
Yeah,
and he just.
Which apparently, fun fact, was like one of Jeffrey Katzenberger's favorite songs.
Yeah, once again, I was not impressed by making this movie make the boss happy.
So that's why they put it in there?
Yeah, I'm not into that. The boss can eat a dick.
But then there's like a really sweet moment where they're making soup, and Goofy's like, "Oh, hi, Dad, soup." And he's like, "What?" He used to spell stuff out like "Hi, Dad" or "I love you." And it's a really sweet moment because then Max...
Well, yeah, they make up, essentially.
Spells out "Hi, Dad" with the soup noodles, and it's really cute.
And then Max fake writes Roxanne and adds a squiggle to the map to go to L.A.
Well... it's very dramatic. The map like pops out, and he's like, "Oh, we're gonna change it," because Goofy's, "I just follow the map wherever I go."
See, and this is my problem: is that this is where he made the mistake. He made the end destination L.A., where he should have just added a squiggle that took them to L.A. But Max is not smart enough to do that.
Yeah, but also like Goofy doesn't look at the map in that way, apparently. He just looks at, I don't know. So that is a little bit of a hole. Like, you're not going to know that you're going towards LA, but whatever.
Well, eventually he does know.
Well, eventually, yeah.
So they have this restaurant scene where Goofy makes a huge deal of Max becoming the navigator.
It's so cute, though.
Yeah. My son, Maximilian.
Yeah. And so he's like, you could pick all the stops, blah, 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 blah. So we get this
So now they do the cool adventure, Kewl, cool.
Yeah, they go to a theme park, they go to a monster truck rally, they go to a bat cave, which says Carl's Butt Caverns.
Yeah, Carl, instead of Carl's bad, Carl's butt.
Which is great.
Yeah.
And they do the whole thing, and
then they check into the Neptune Inn, exhausted, and Pete and PJ show back up.
yeah, he's like, oh, I'm just going to plug in my extension cord. You won't even notice it. And it's like this giant anaconda-sized pipe. Like, clearly somebody would notice that.
And so Goofy goes to the hot tub, and Max and PJ are talking, and Pete overhears Max telling PJ about the map change, and he's like, ho, 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 I'm gonna go tell on you, because I'm a narc.
Yeah, and the whole scene with Pete and Goofy in the hot tub, actually, like, I didn't write it down as one of my favorite scenes. It's actually a very good scene.
It was very effective. He's like, oh, no, I don't believe it. He's a good boy. Like, I trust him.
Yeah, no, it's a very effective scene.
But
he's like,
Goofy goes out to the car, and the map pops out in the same dramatic fashion, and he sees the truth.
It's so dramatic.
It's very dramatic.
Like, it actually made me feel things. I was like, oh God, he's gonna find it.
I'm not like that.
I know you're not like that. It's fine.
But then he goes back into the hotel room, just catatonic.
Yeah, because he realized, like, oh, my son has lied to me. Like,
yeah.
I think I better go. See you, Peach. Don't forget power lines.
The next day they're driving, and there's this whole big dramatic thing about the junction of you have to go left or right, and it conveniently says California or Idaho, which is not a thing, but there's no...
I was actually trying to think of where that would be, and that actually kind of works in Las Vegas.
Idaho, really?
Yeah, you can take the 15 to Idaho. I mean, it goes through Utah and stuff, or you can take the 10 to Los Angeles.
But does it say California or Idaho?
It might. It could.
Doesn't say California or, like, Montana.
No, it could. It very well could say Idaho. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. That's not unrealistic.
It seemed pretty unrealistic to me. But, and, he makes the choice to go to Idaho. All of a sudden, Goofy's just pissed. He's like, I can't believe this. So
you're a total little dick.
He's
you.
Well, I mean, it's kind of understandable. Like, and also, if Max would have just told him
I need to do this to get laid, he would have been all about it.
He would have been like, all right, I'm just happy that we're close. Like, that's all he wanted through this whole thing was to be close to his son.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's this whole dramatic thing where they pull over, and then Max, like, leans on the car, and the car goes down the road, and they have to run after it, and there's a skateboard, and they're going, and he's like, you locked the car, no, you locked it, blah, 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 blah. And they fly off the thing, they're yelling at each other, and Max is like, you ruin everything, and blah, 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 blah. And it's very sad. And they end up, like, in the Grand Canyon, in the river.
Yeah, just floating down the river, back to back, angry at each other.
Then they eventually bust out into another song. Nobody Else But You. Like, oh, everything's good. Like, we're happy.
The apology song. And Dad's gonna help him with Power Line, and then the waterfall.
Yeah, and this is very dramatic.
It is very dramatic.
And it's kind of upsetting.
Because it all ends out fine. I mean, they fall over the waterfall, but there's like a parachute, and then he saves his dad with the perfect cast.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's amazing. And then now they're at the Powerline concert.
David has no feelings.
Which I was, this is basically Michael Jackson. Before I read all the stuff, I was like, which makes sense now.
Oh my God. And then we get the best song in the movie.
Goofy gets on stage, then Max gets on stage, so he gets it. He completes the deal, and what's the song?
Eye to eye.
Oh, yeah, Eye to Eye. Yeah.
Eye to eye, eye to eye. You got the big fat lady up there.
Yeah, that was very 90s. Very 90s.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's the best. And that's what, when I was telling you, if somebody says eye to eye, you're like, eye to eye. That's what you gotta sing. Because you've seen this movie. Yeah, I got you. But yeah, no, then, Roxanne sees him on the TV and she's like, oh my God.
Yeah, you can hear the come out of her.
Yeah, because he made it work.
She's
but
like,
then, they go back and they're driving their broke car, which I'm like, how did you get your car? But
well, it's broken.
How did they get it? It went down the waterfall.
Fished it out of something.
I don't know. They did the perfect cast and they fished it out.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, and then on stage, when they're on stage, he's telling his dad, like, do the perfect cast. And he's, like, dancing.
As a dance of the perfect cast, yeah. I mean, which makes some sense with his wacky cast.
No, it's amazing. And so then they're going to go to Roxanne's house, and his dad's like, you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, and she takes him out there and she wants to...
Yeah,
like,
oh my God. And she's like, oh, it's great. And he's like, but I lied. And she's like, I don't care. And then his dad, like, the car blows up and he ends up flying through the roof with his...
being goofy. He's just being goofy. Yeah.
He's like, I want you to meet my dad. And that's the end of the movie.
Yeah, goof gun goof. So what was your favorite part, Kelly?
I have a few.
You have a few? Which one? Which one's
number
one?
I actually really like the Open Road song with all the people joining in.
Open Road.
Well, yeah, it doesn't really go like that.
No, I know.
Okay. But no, you got like the funeral people, and you got the cowgirls. Is this the way to Nashville? And you got the nuns, and you got the all of it. It's a fun scene. I really like that part.
I really like Possum Pete's because it really keeps it real.
I hate Possum
Pete's.
Pete's.
It makes it. This to me is like the meat of the movie is Possum Pete's.
I hate Possum Pete's. It's so uncomfortable. I hate it.
I love it. I love it so much.
Barry, you're part of the band.
Oh yeah, you're part of the band.
Which
Barry.
actually apparently was supposed to be like a parody of Country Bears. That was the whole thing of that. Because the Country Bears attraction in Disney World.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant the movie. I was like, the movie came out like 15 years after this.
No, the attraction Country Bears is literally this.
Yeah. No, I know. I got you.
Bears.
Yeah,
it's this. Yeah. So, and then my second one is probably going to be the Bigfoot going through all their stuff.
You like the Bigfoot part? Okay.
I really like the Bigfoot part.
I like the car loss part. The whole part where they're fighting and the car starts to back out and fly down the mountain.
Really?
I love that part. I think it's really funny because they're really throwing a lot of insults at each other.
Yeah. As
they're flying down the mountain and landing in the thing. Like, none of the actual, like, and they're bouncing off the cliffs. It's funny because all this dramatic stuff is happening to them and they're just insulting each other. I think that's really funny.
Yeah,
it's very good comedically. Yeah.
I do like the assembly song at the beginning.
So, okay, that's my third one too, is the school power line part. That's hilarious. It's so funny.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
And it's a good song.
Yeah, you can't deny that part. That part is great.
Yeah.
It's like every kid's fantasy to do that for whatever crush they have.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
And then I'll give an honorable mention to, I really do like the parts where he goes to Roxanne's house and her dad answers the door and she's like, Daddy, and he's like a dog. He's like, "Rrr."
That'd be like me answering the door.
Yeah, no, I forgot about that part actually before watching this.
I mean, it's a total trope, but it is still funny.
And
yeah.
Okay, so something like this, it's okay to have tropes. Because
No. I think it's okay to have tropes anyways, as long as you do them well, and this movie does them well.
Yeah. Do you have any other parts that you enjoyed?
No, I always only do 3.
So as far as songs, I mean, this movie has a lot of songs.
Some of them are a little weird.
Yeah, I mean...
The first song is not good.
After today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually think it's fine.
It's fine.
Whatever.
But...
I like all the people joining in.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing, is the beginning of most of the songs suck, and then when everybody joins in...
Yeah, and then you have
get better.
The Power Line Stand Out song, obviously, assembly song.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's great. And then you have the Lester's Possum Park, David's favorite.
Yeah, that's a terrible song, but...
On the Open Road, Kelly's favorite. You have the Nobody Else But You duo with the two of them.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. And then you have of course,
So, for our main characters, Max and Goofy, we got the angsty teen and the embarrassing dad. They play him to a T.
God, he's such a dick.
Yeah, Max is a total dick.
Well, but that's the part that actually was so sad. That's actually kind of sad. He's like, yeah, I know you're growing up, but I just wanted to be part of your life. It's so sad.
But it's just so typical.
Yeah, it's typical, but it's very sad. Yeah. It's very good.
Yeah. And there's no villains in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Max to himself, like maybe Pete a little bit, trying to be like...
Pete is not a villain in this movie. Pete is just trying to help Goofy. And really, he helps Goofy.
Kind of?
And Pete... Well, if Goofy didn't put the kid under his thumb and make him go fishing, they wouldn't have run into Bigfoot. They wouldn't have made up. The whole movie wouldn't have kept going. I mean, he was right.
Yeah. Oh, and I do like that part too. The Hi Dad Soup thing was really cute.
Yeah, I mean, I can't call Pete the villain of this movie at all.
No, I mean, it's really not a true villain, but it's kind of like Max with himself, like...
And really... When he tells on him, he's still not the villain. He's really just doing Goofy a favor of like, hey, you need to know this about your kid.
Yeah, that he's lying to.
And just because Pete's a dick as a walking being doesn't make him a villain. He's just a dick.
Yeah. Side characters. I enjoyed Bobby's character a lot.
Yeah. Kelly's really into Pauly Shore now.
I am.
I think tonight we might have to watch Son-in-Law.
I'm just really into his whole, like, just dumb, just...
Or Encino Man. I think probably Encino Man. Yeah. We'll watch Encino Man. And we'll see where you land with that. Okay. And then maybe we'll watch the other 4 Pauly Shore movies.
Okay, fine.
It's the Leaning Tower of Cheesa.
And then we have, we have Pete and PJ. PJ, obviously a huge character in Goof Troop.
Yeah.
Really minimized here.
He's just the same as the show, but I mean, it's like they're...
But minimized.
A little bit older than they were on Goof Troop. Just
right.
A little bit older.
Which is weird. Well, no, I think they made this after... Because I always forget with those Quack Pack things. That was actually 89, 90, 91, but they reran them all the way up into the mid-90s, so it seemed like they were new, but they really weren't.
Right.
And then we had Roxanne, who was just kind of...
Yeah, she's
kind of a zero, really.
She's just there. I mean, she's not really the main focus. The main focus of the movie is Max's relationship with his dad. Like, that's the main focus of the movie, is their relationship.
So, in cinematography, it was okay. I read in the fun facts thing that they tried to make this 4K and they accidentally made it 2K when they redid it.
What does that mean?
Well, I think the resolution was actually supposed to be better than it is, but they f***ed up. Okay. And it's only half as good looking as it's supposed to be for Disney Plus.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I think it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine, but they could have done a little more remastering to bring it up to now.
What if they did a live action Goofy?
No.
No, they can't.
No.
That would be really disturbing.
I would hate it. I would hate it.
Awful.
Goofy needs to be just Goofy. As a matter of fact, all these animated original characters, do not mess with them.
Yeah, they're never going to do that. That would be creepy.
I don't need a live-action Mickey Mouse. I don't need a live-action Donald Duck. A live-action Pluto. Just no. Don't ever do it.
What kind of dog is Pluto even supposed to be? I don't know. Some sort of weird wiener dog, golden retriever hybrid? I don't even know. What was your biggest surprise or disappointment, David?
I really had a hard time with this because nothing was too surprising or there was nothing really disappointing about this movie. So the best I can do is I was just surprised that it was a fun road trip movie. Yeah.
I mean, I was actually honestly surprised that I liked it still as much as I did when I was a kid because I really liked this movie when I was a kid. I was all about it.
That's fair.
Really about it when I was a kid. Somebody gave this movie to me when I was really young as like at a birthday party as like a present. And then I kept watching it. And also the beginning of this movie had those like Disney sing-along things on like the like preview part.
Right.
I watched this on repeat quite a bit.
Gotcha. That actually makes a ton of sense. Yeah. And the quotable lines, I wish I would have picked up a couple because there were probably like 10 and I just couldn't remember them when I was writing my notes down.
It's the Leaning Tower of Cheesa.
That was not one of them, but... Or like, what is it he says when he gets woken up? Like, how many cups of sugar does it take to get to the moon? 3.5 cups.
Yeah. How many cups of sugar does it take to get to the moon? 3.5?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
And there's way more than that, but it was hard to capture them.
Yeah. Hey, Max, wicked dance. Forget it, girl. He's Roxanne's.
Yeah, that's the big titted girl. And then 6 knocking him out.
Yeah,
knocking her out. Yeah.
So if you remade this movie,
no, you don't remake this movie.
It's pretty good as it is.
Yeah.
It's a really good movie, I think.
So your final thoughts?
Yeah, it's a good movie for like parents and kids, and it actually
watch it.
It has some serious parts. It's very funny. It has good music.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
It's an enjoyable movie, and I'm really happy that I still enjoyed it today, having not seen it for so long. And as a child, I loved this movie. So yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah. So the budget for this movie was $18 million, which seems like a lot.
That does seem like a lot.
And it only made $35 million. But there was some weird delay that made it come out a year late, which I think is what cost this movie money.
Huh.
Had this movie come out in the slot that The Lion King came out in 1994, I think it would have made a ton of money because it was still hot off a Goof Troop.
Yeah, but that's probably why they delayed it, because they were
No, there was like some problem. Something happened in France where they were making some of the movie. Like something happened that they delayed the movie. It was an actual like physical problem that delayed it.
Yeah, but like, would it have made as much money going up against Lion King?
No. Lion King aired in its spot.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Had this movie come out a year before, I don't think it would be a Lion King size movie. But it wouldn't be the kind of disappointing result that they got from it, where it seems like nobody really saw this movie, and that's the real problem.
Yeah. No, but this movie, it's just like with real Disney fans, you know what this movie is.
Well, that's what I mean, is that it just didn't get seen enough.
Yeah.
It didn't get seen widely enough as it should have. It wasn't seen coming wildly off the original run of the Quack Pack the way it should have been.
Yeah. No, because if you're going to have like the animated TV show and then you make a movie, this is how you make the movie. It's so good.
Right, but it just came a year too late.
Yeah.
So, which is fine.
Why was there no Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers movie? That's what I want to know.
I think there was, and they didn't put it out theatrically. And why, when they were going down the river and they splashed the squirrels, why were those squirrels not Chip and Dale?
I don't
that
know.
Really f***ed with me. I was
don't know.
pissed. I meant to say something about that earlier. That should have been my biggest disappointment.
I don't know why
those two should have been Chip and Dale. I mean, what are we doing here in a Disney movie? Having squirrels that aren't Chip and Dale. Has that ever happened?
Well, especially since earlier in the movie there was literally Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck on
That's
the
what
side
I mean.
of the road. Yeah.
You're not supposed to do stuff like that without... Yeah, whatever.
I don't know. They didn't think about it, I guess.
So, Kelly, what is your rating for this movie?
So, I have no shame. I love this movie. I love Goofy. I love all the songs in this movie. Is a big part of why I like this movie. So, I gave this movie an 80%. I love this movie. I've always loved this movie. It's not like a, oh my god, I'm gonna fall off my chair, 90% plus movie, but originally I had 70, and as I was writing all my notes, I was like, no, you love this movie. Like, don't have a shame. Like, 80% is my score.
So for me, I gave it 67, and I love this movie. I think it's a great movie. I didn't want it to be high into my top movies, but it's a great movie. I think it's very good.
So, would you watch the sequel?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I saw the promotion for the sequel, and the premise of it is absolutely stupid.
What's the premise, David?
That they're extreme, that Max is an extreme, like, skateboarder.
Yeah, and they're in college, and Goofy has to go to college because he doesn't have a degree, so he follows Max to college.
Oh my god.
And then Goofy has to...
Okay, yes, I would watch it.
And then Goofy has to do the X Games with Max.
Yeah.
It's
it would be like the ski Goofy
David.
meets modern Goofy, and that would actually be pretty funny.
We should actually watch it.
Maybe
whatever.
Maybe we will. Maybe we'll watch it and do a bonus episode.
Maybe. Okay.
So, what do you think the Rotten Tomatoes score for this movie is? Even though I think you looked at it, but...
No, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, because I actually, I know that I love this movie, but I'm also weird. I love it because I watched it so much as a kid. Rotten Tomatoes, I'm going to feel like they gave it a 55.
You looked at me.
No, I didn't look.
So, the Rotten Tomatoes score for critics is 58%.
David, I didn't look at your fucking paper.
It's fine. With the people, it's 70. So I'm right in the line of what actual reality is.
I'm sorry that I'm just good at guessing.
Usually.
Usually you're not. It's one of my favorite movies. It's so good. Like father, like son, we always number one. We're bodies, we're proud. Wah, 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 wah. Woo! David's not amused.
No, I am. It's time for Kelly's favorite part of the podcast.
Oh, God, this makes me tired.
It makes Kelly tired.
It's just stressful.
It's stressful trying to find a movie to watch.
Yeah, because it's like, could I get excited? Could it be something that I want to watch? Or is it going to be something dumb? I don't know.
Okay, well, it was 407, which is godmothered, so that doesn't count.
You're right, it doesn't count. That was released only for Disney Plus, not intended for theaters.
And then we have 171, which is legitimate.
Is it in the 80s?
No, it's in the early 90s.
Early 90s?
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
It's something from 1991 called Wild Hearts Can't Be Broken.
Oh, David.
Oh, well, apparently Kelly knows the movie.
Everyone knows this movie.
I have no idea.
Okay, I've definitely seen this. There's parts of it that are very upsetting, but it's fine. So David, what do you think this movie is about?
I think it's about horses somehow.
How do you know this is about horses?
Because anytime that something can't be broken, it has to be about horses. I'm right.
There is a horse component to
yes,
it.
of course.
Wait, you've never seen this movie?
No, I have no idea even what it's about. But like I said, anytime you're like, oh, blah, 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 can't be broken, it has to have horses.
So, okay, give me your theory, what it's about.
That it's like some chick and her horse, and she gets a wild horse, and she's like, oh, I can't break it. I don't know.
Oh my god. Okay. Alright. Yeah, I've definitely seen this movie.
Alright, great. So tune in next week for a movie I haven't seen and Kelly totally has. In the meantime, if you'd like to follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, at the Disney Movies with the Heart. If you'd like to send us an email, at the Disney Movies at gmail.com. We'll respond to you. We'll interact with you. Whatever it is your little heart desires, we'll try.
Your heart can't be broken.
Yeah. No, it definitely can. Sorry.
What if it's a horse listening, David? Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, share, leave us a review. Do all the things.
And the stuff. But in the meantime, this has been At the Disney Movies with the Hearts.
I'm Kelly.
I'm David.
Bye! I'll just let you finish that. Oh my god. I can't with you.
I had to chew it up.
Clearly. Fucking David. Oh, now he's got to do the other thing. Okay, we'll just wait. Everyone's waiting on David. Oh, I'm gonna sit on my butt.
Probably not the best cocktail for a podcast.
Oh, a Bloody Mary, because you have all the accoutrement that go with it?
The accoutrement, the constant need for stirring.
Well, just be better about it then. Don't do that.
It's a little difficult to drink without a straw.
Do you need a straw?
No, it's fine, honey. Well, Kelly went 3 pickles.
3 pick. The pickles are good. They're spicy.
Yeah, the little spicy pickles are very good.